Hello, my name is Homer Schmucker. I work with Southwest Mailing and Accuprint here in Las Vegas. We are a small mailing equipment company and print shop here in the Las Vegas area. I wanted to do a quick primer on direct mail, and this comes from a conversation that I had with someone today. Direct mail still has some of the highest ROIs of any type of marketing in the industry. A lot of people are not aware, but direct mail is still effective. And according to the USPS, the Mail Moment report, they found that 56% of all respondents say that receiving mail is a real pleasure. 55% look forward to getting it. 67% believe it's more personal than the internet. 77% of millennials say they pay attention to direct mail ads. Matter of fact, the Shopping Shift says 83% of purchases are influenced by relevant direct mail. Now, there's different types of direct mail. The most basic plan is get out a pen and paper and write a letter. Send a type letter. Send something in the mail to a specific address. Direct mail can be a single piece or it can be 10 million pieces. It's not determined by the quantity. It's determined by the fact that you are sending something specifically to an address. Now, discounts are offered by the USPS. And, basically a forever stamp costs 58 cents. Now, if I'm going to do 10 million pieces at 58 cents a piece, that's a lot of money. Now, if I just get a postage meter, I can drop that rate to 53 cents. There are other options, however. As long as the mail is properly prepared and properly presented, you can get some more and significant discounts. You can DIY or you can outsource it. It's up to you. Let's talk about the two primary ways that there's discounted USPS mail. The first way is first-class commercial mail. Now, the couple of keys are that you have to have 500 pieces, it must be properly prepared, and must be presented at the business mail entry unit. I just wanted to cover a couple of brief things here that the post office talks about in their Postal Explorer. And just a couple of things that are important to know. If you're going to mail something, a bill or a statement of an account, that must go first class, priority, or priority mail express. Basically, think of it this way. If I send something that says you owe me money, you need to make a payment, something of that nature, even if it's not required as of the moment that is sent, I must send that first class mail. If I typewrite it or handwrite it, it must go first class mail. If it's computer generated, then I don't have to send it first class mail. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, in order to get a discounted mail piece, in order to get a discounted mail piece, I must prepare it correctly. If I look here, though, instead of sending that mail piece out at a first class full rate of 58 cents, if I send it out at commercial rates, basically properly prepared, I can drop that rate significantly. That rate will drop all the way down to 48.5 or 42.6 cents. Now you might say, what's the difference between 48.5 and 42.6 cents? Well, 48.5, I've sent 500 pieces of mail and they've went all over the country. I want them to send them to 500 different zip codes. If I look at the 42.6 cents, I've sent that at least 150 pieces of those 500 pieces to a zip code like 89101. Now, going on back, let's go back to our PowerPoint for a moment here. And pardon me if I stumble a little bit here. Now, again, I must properly prepare my mail. It must be 500 pieces, properly prepared, and dropped at a business mail unit. Now, the other class of mail that's frequently talked about is marketing mail. Now, marketing mail is any mail that is not required to be sent by first class. It's not handwritten or typewritten. It's general communications or marketing in nature. Now, let's just go in and take a look real briefly at this. There are a lot of different descriptions about this, but the primary thing is it must be 200 pieces or more, or 50 pounds, and any piece that is not required to be mailed first class is eligible for standard mail. So if I'm sending out a marketing piece telling them about my new store opening or inviting them to a gala or something of that nature, asking them to buy something from me, I can send that as marketing mail. Now those rates change dramatically. So now if I come down here and I look at my standard mail rates, remember it was 58 cents for a forever stamp. It was 53 cents if I used a postage meter, and if I've used first class mail, I could get all the way down to 42.6 cents if I'm sending it all to one zip code, or 48.5 if it's spread out all over the place. But if I go back and I come down here and I look at marketing mail, that number drops even further. Pardon me as I fumble here a bit. I'm going to look at marketing mail letters. Take a look at these rates. An automation rate, the most I'm going to pay is 33 cents, and it can go as low as 25. Now, I'm not going to go into all the different explanations of which one goes where, but let's just say the closer I deliver it, closer I drop the mail off to who's going to deliver that mail, the better the rate. The more pieces I have, more dense, the better the rate. I.e., if I mail 500 pieces across the country, it's the highest rate. If I mail 500 pieces to one carrier is going to deliver all 500 pieces, that's my best rate. So in a nutshell, those are my rates. So bottom line is take a look at that. I can get all the way down almost for less than half of what a first class stamp costs. So those rates can be pretty significant. Now you say, well, okay, Homer, that's great. What do I have to do to make that happen? Well, bottom line is I have to prepare it properly. It's got to be a minimum of 200 pieces, and I need to present it at the bulk mail entry unit or business mail entry unit. Now, one thing I want to cover that's right up here in the middle is a subclass if you qualify nonprofit. Now, if you follow this link and go to Pub 417, it explains what it takes to become a nonprofit mailer. Now, those rates are significantly less. Take a look at this. So if I qualify as a nonprofit, my mail rates will drop significantly. Look at this, 11.9 cents, 19.9 cents. I can get incredibly low rates if I qualify as a nonprofit. Now, again, there are certain qualifications I must meet, and the post office must approve me for those rates. I can't just decide today that I want to get nonprofit rates. I've got to go through the process, get qualified, make sure that my mail qualifies. But now, one thing I want to cover, and one thing that came up today in one of my conversations, is how do you pay for that postage? Well, you know what? There are really three ways to pay for postage. If your mail qualifies for the discount, you can have three payment options. One is the permit box. It's simple, it's fast. You can also use a meter if you'd like. Again, meters are simple and easy. And then the last way you can do it is use what's called a pre-canceled stamp. Now, that means if I've got 200 pieces and I'm doing a standard mail, I can use any of these three options. Any of the three options. I can use a permit box. I can use a meter. I can use a pre-canceled stamp. Any of these options to pay for my postage. Now, I have to have a permit. I have to qualify. There's different things that fall into play here, but I can use any of these options if my mail is qualifying to pay for my postage. And so that means in first class mail, 500 pieces, everything else qualifies. I can use a permit. I can use a meter. I can use a stamp. Standard mail, if it qualifies, I can use a permit. I can use a meter. I can use a stamp. So I have different options to be able to qualify and pay for that postage. Now, I could go into a lot more detail. There's so much more to talk about with direct mail, and I'm going to do some more videos and some more explanations of direct mail. I'm hoping this has been helpful. If you'd like to know a little bit more, you can contact me in a number of different ways. I have 2 emails on there. I have my 2 websites on there, as well as 3 different telephone numbers for you to be able to reach me. I'd love to be able to help you out further. If you'd like to call me, I will gladly take your call. Again, thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate you taking a moment to listen and watch this. If you have any further comments, I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much.